Adam Lerner, BrooklynPhotoWorks.com, and today we have another Squarespace website portfolio review. And today's portfolio comes from a guy named Moy Bogarin, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Moy. And this is the landing page. This looks very much like a Squarespace website to me. Let's just see if we have the little escape button thing. Oh yeah, he doesn't have that thing turned off. All right. So yeah, we know it's a Squarespace website. I do have a video where I talk about that, but we'll get that to another point. Anyway, so here's the landing page, and the landing page is a nice mosaic of images. And I would imagine from looking at this mosaic of images that he's a wedding photographer. You know, we've got a bunch of different couples, nice settings, a bride over here. Yeah, I don't know if we necessarily would need to have something here, but it wouldn't be bad if it said Moy Bogarin, wedding photographer, or regional wedding photographer, depending on where he's located. But let's just go in. All right, welcome. That's nice. Boom. Very first thing we do is we get to his gallery called Weddings. And as you can see, it's more of a film strip type of gallery. Meaning that the images are going to probably scroll across. All right, so let's just start looking at some of these images here, and we'll just start in the weddings. All right, so here we've got a black and white treatment. Yeah, this is kind of cool. It's a little bit awkward. I'm not crazy about the other cars in the background. Like if you're going to rent a car like this, I don't even know what this thing is. It's kind of amazing. And you're gonna have the couple in kind of period dress. Like, let's not have the modern vehicles in the background. Let's find another camera angle and really put them in the car. Let's have him like hanging off of the running board, or have them both standing on the running board. Something that's a little bit more tied into this vintage car and their vintage look. That bothers me a little bit. It bothers me that the car is kind of like falling out of the frame. I'm a car guy and I love photographing cars. I'm not crazy about this crop. All right, I'm not going to go too crazy on this one image here, but I think that we could have maybe framed this one a little bit different, gotten rid of these modern cars in the background, and really focused the couple in their vintage attire with this vintage vehicle right there. Okay, here's one couple in their shoes, you know, nice little wedding shot. Here's that same couple, but you know, it's kind of like an odd angle. And look, you guys know how I feel about Dutch angles. If you need to tilt the camera, then maybe if you need to tilt the camera to make the image more interesting, maybe the image isn't that interesting in the first place. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for that. I know not all of you guys agree with it, but I think in a lot of cases that when you tilt the camera, you're not necessarily getting a better image. Okay, unless there's something about that image that draws your eye in because of that angle, and it really kind of adds some kind of motion or dynamic to it, I don't feel personally that doing that Dutch angle thing can really help with an image. Especially in a case like this, when he's doing one of these kind of dips with her, we want to see the rest of her dress. We want to see her leg kicked up in the air. I think that at the same, you know, look, ultimately I think this should have been shot horizontally. That's what I'm going to say there. This right here, again, we've got another kind of a weird angle. Their legs are cut off. I mean, it's nicely shot, but you know, we're not quite there. Same thing here. It's cropped really tight. You know, they're kind of falling out of the frame. This guy here, he's kind of falling out of the frame. His foot's cut off. She's falling out of the frame. It's almost like this was shot, you know, from a few steps above. She's not really looking at the camera. I don't know if this was a crop. I would kind of lose this image altogether. I would lose a lot of these images personally because, look, as you guys know, I always say, if you have a great image and you have a good image, and you put a good image next to a great image, that great image is not as great. It becomes good or less, or it reduces all of those images into a lesser category, okay? So you gotta be very careful about how you edit. Now, what that means is that if you're a wedding photographer and you're shooting tons of images, I mean, wedding photographers shoot anywhere between 500 to 1,000 images in a wedding day, it's very hard to select a handful of images, but only put your best online. It's different when you share with the wedding couple. You send them all, or you send them most of them. You know, you weed out all the ones that don't work, that are out of focus, that are repetitive, redundant, and you let them choose for their album, whatever. But for your portfolio, just choose your very best. All right, let's keep going. Shot in the church, nice and tight composition over there. Obviously done with a long lens. You can tell by the compression. Here's another shot. Here we've got that weird angle, and her dress is cut off. I mean, look, this doesn't, that kind of hurts me. This is an interesting idea from the perspective. I'm just kind of having trouble with the bride kind of being under here. You can see that there's some expression going on. Okay, let's just see what this little plus does. Yeah, that brings you into a full screen. That's kind of nicer. I don't know if this could have been processed a little bit differently. It's just a little flat, it's a little muddy, you know, and I don't know, maybe this is a first look image. It's almost there. Let's keep going. All right, that's a nice composition there, nice low angle that I like. Again, it looks a little soft, and I can't tell if that's focus or if that is processing. A getting ready shot. Okay, here we go. You know, we got the bride putting on lipstick. It's a nice getting ready shot. Her face, again, it's just a little, open up the shadows just a hair in there. You know, one thing I like about shots like these, particularly if you've got a bunch of different mirrors and window light, like maybe just position a little bit differently, get her face lit a little bit better, maybe a reflection in one of those mirrors, get rid of, you know, stuff like this that is in a shot, and maybe these bags, I don't know if they're makeup bags, but if this has nothing to do with what's going on here, just take the time and just pull it out of the shot and then take another frame. Here we go, the couple, you know, having an intimate moment. I'm not really sure what this is. I don't know if that's shot through a person or whatever. I like these soft items, these soft things in the foreground. I find this to be a little bit distracting. This to me is just a nice shot of the bride with her father. This to me is not a portfolio shot. There's a ton of information over here we don't really need to be seeing. There's really not like that connection that's going on between the two. It might mean a lot to the couple, but I don't know if it's the strongest shot for the web portfolio. This is nice. I wish that you took a tiny step to the right and didn't cut her face off with his shoulder there, but there's a nice interaction there. I see what also you're doing with the processing. It's got that kind of like filmy visco look about it. You know, there's something nice about that. It's just some of it is soft to the point where the focus doesn't look sharp. Okay, this is what we were talking about before with the mirror and the getting ready. You know, that's not bad. You know, it's okay. It's not bad. Not bad. We'll keep going. Yeah, that's all right. You know, again, is it portfolio worthy? Is this portfolio worthy? You know, the light's really nice, but you as a photographer shooting a wedding, you can tell people, you can say, hey, you know, look over here or do something. Her arms are cut off or looks away. It's just, again, I don't know if it's portfolio worthy. Okay, that's very cute. That's definitely a cute shot. I like it. I like the soft focus. I like the hair light going on over there. Another one that I don't feel is portfolio worthy. It's a beautiful location. I don't even know what the heck that thing is, some kind of a post. But we got a lot of stuff going on in the top of this frame. We got a lot of stuff going on in the bottom of this frame. And really, the only thing that's going on is here. And this guy, you know, the priest or whoever, you know, the groom's head's cut off. It's tough. Another one with the angle and the dress is cut off. You know, think about this when you're taking these shots, okay? Let's keep going. Okay, shot of the second photographer. Maybe you are the photographer's assistant and you're grabbing shots and he is the primary photographer. I would guess maybe from the camera strap with the two cameras. It's a nice behind the scenes shot. I think that if these guys were in focus and the photographer wasn't, it might be a little bit more compelling. Yeah, this is definitely not a portfolio shot, nor is that. That's kind of nice. You know, there's a nice little interaction going on over there. Yeah. You know what I'm getting from this? I'm getting the sense that that you're probably a second shooter, or maybe a photographer's assistant, and these are weddings that you've helped out with, or you've maybe second shot at. I don't see that there's anything wrong with trying to build your business on the work that you have. But if these are not your weddings, then all of these kind of ancillary shots, these secondary shots, you really have to focus on trying to get stuff that is just really rises to the top. And a lot of the kind of like just filler stuff that you have in here, I would pull that stuff out. I mean, while you're building your brand, while you're building your business, you really just want your strongest work in there. And the stuff that is kind of the filler stuff that's not quite telling a story, or maybe the focus is a little bit off, or some stuff, or the lighting isn't just there, just pull that stuff out. You don't need it to tell your story. Like this one, if I could see the groom, and you say, hey guys, take a step out of the house, and then boom, like let's do the tie like on, let's do the tie on the lawn in front of the house, guys, come on, let's just redo that. They're going to say fine, they're all excited about this day, but they're hidden behind this willow tree. Again, this to me is like an Instagram kind of shot. Yeah. Okay, that's a nice tender moment. That's a nice portrait. I think the focus might be off over here, but it's nice. Definitely not that. That goes. The ring shots, yeah, all right. I get the details. There's a nice moment happening there. The light's kind of interesting on this one. All right, you guys get the idea of what I'm talking about here, all right? Let's just go, and we've got weddings into couples. All right, so these are maybe like more like engagement shots. Forgive me, my internet is working super slow today. All right, yeah, that's all right. I wouldn't mind if I don't know why we've got so much room on this image here, but I get the idea here. Again, the motorcycle's cut off, so we've got all this room on this side of the frame, and the motorcycle's cut off here. Just a little step to the left, whatever, just, you know what it is? A lot of times photographers can get like excitable. And what I mean by that is that you're in the moment, you're excitable, you're just trying to capture things, and it's tough, but sometimes you just have to slow things down. You have to slow your mind down. You have to just kind of take a breath and just take an extra minute to compose things and to look at your frame and to really think about that. And look, these people, they're hiring you to shoot something. They want you to do your best work, all right? So if you need to take like another second or two to kind of get the better shot, they're not going to mind. We'll just keep going through this. Yeah. I mean, these are fine, I like these. Obviously, I don't know if he was caught in the rain or if he just used too much gel. This guy looks like Jeff Tweedy, kind of like a younger, cropped hair version of Jeff Tweedy. Those are nice. This one, again, we've got so much going on at the top of these frames. Look at this one right here. All right, pull this one up for you. These guys are tucked off to the side, and then there's all this stuff. Like, I just don't know why we have all of that. All right, that's kind of cool. I like what's going on here. That's nice. Nice foreground out of focus elements. So why do we have two of these? We got this one, we got this one. This one's cuter. So why do we have that? Let's lose that. We don't need two of the same image. All right. Let's go into commercial. We'll go into Orchid Dynasty. So commercial, I'm going to guess, is work that you were hired to do. We'll just give it a minute to get into there. All right. I don't know if this was for a magazine or if these guys just hired you. I get the sense from looking at these that, maybe you're just not that comfortable giving people direction, and that's a really tough thing to do. It's particularly, as a starting photographer, and I'm assuming this, and please forgive me if I'm wrong. You're welcome to contact me directly. We can talk all about this, or at least we can have an exchange online about it. Giving people direction, it can be intimidating. But look, you're photographing these beautiful ladies. She's got her arms crossed and tilting away from the camera. Like, I think you probably could have gotten a little bit more out of her with just some simple conversation. Yeah, look, these are fine. To me, this is a blog post. I don't see this as something that you would put in a commercial gallery. Let me just look at what this thing is here and give it a minute, y'all, because again, our internet's happening slow today. Maybe it's the ice storm. I don't really know why we're doing slow internet today. It also could be, and I don't want to discredit Moy, but it also could be that the images are loaded very large. Now, for your website, you don't need to be higher than 72 dpi because that's mostly what the maximum resolution on a computer screen or a cell phone is going to give you. And as far as screen size, like particularly if you're downsizing your images to like, what is this? I don't even know, 1,000 pixels on the longest edge. I don't know what size these images are, but they could potentially be so big that that's why things are very slow to load. See, like in this example here, the image is off center. So you can see you've got very definitive lines here. You've got essentially a grid. So why isn't this image straight? Or why didn't you take the time to straighten this image? And, we're cutting this guy off here. I don't even know why this image is up here. So I'm just going to leave it at that. With the commercial stuff, if it's not, here, I'll just grab one of these Cowboys. I understand that you want to portray yourself as a commercial photographer, and I think that that's great. And I think that you can certainly put, maybe just a handful or a couple images from the commercial jobs that you've done. But putting those photo galleries with a lot of repetitive images that don't really tell the story is going to wear people down. People aren't going to probably spend a lot of time on that because it's like, okay, here's a picture of a table and a picture of an orchid and yada yada. It's not going to necessarily draw me in. It's going to say, yeah, this guy can take a picture, but I want something more. All right, so we've got this cafe cowboy, which kind of tells me the story that the guy has a cafe racer motorcycle. Yeah, this is a nice little story here. I think it's cool. Nice little shot there. All right, so we'll go from there. Let's go over to the blog. Let's see. So this is a personal project that you did. Look, these are really nice. There's a really nice interaction with these folks. I don't know if this was a hired job or whatever. This is great. Look at all the detail shots you got going on over here. I love this shot. I don't know if her feet are cut off or not. I hope that they're not. I feel like a lot of these things are. Yeah, I like that you've turned these into blog posts. I think that that's great. We'll go to the About Me page. Here's the thing. When you're building up your work, when you're building up your professional work, when you're building up your brand, you put your best work in your portfolio. And sometimes that can be very few images because less is more. And then in your blog post, you can put maybe slightly larger photo sets and talk more in depth about your work, about the day, about the couple, whatever it is. But again, you still want to be selective. You don't want to be repetitive. You don't want to show images or multiple images of the same thing. So there you go. All right, so we're at your site. Hey, I'm on the right. Prime real estate is Salt Lake City. I'm always willing to travel. Wild child, somewhat of a nerd. I like the photo. I think it's great. I think it's got some personality to it. I like that it ties you into Vegas. I think that's really cool. Getting paid for what I love to do, the joy and happiness and excitement when I get hired. Look, it's nice that you're so excited about getting hired for work. That's great. Look, I'm excited every time I get hired for work. I think that maybe you just tone it down a little bit and you just say, I love what I do. Getting paid for what I do and love to do. Yeah, I think we all feel that way. But it feels a little like you're maybe trying a little bit hard with this. That's all I can say. And we'll go to the contact page. Nice, you got the contact page. You've got a Pinterest link up here. I'm not seeing other social media outlets. I'm not seeing Facebook. I'm not seeing I'm not seeing Twitter. I'm not seeing LinkedIn. I'm not seeing Instagram. I think Pinterest is fine. I think it's a great way to kind of, be able to share your images, but there's a lot of other social media outlets that you can use out there to build your brand. And it's not a bad idea to jump on them and cross-post your work, and that can help to build your brand and get more awareness for you and who you are and what you're doing. So, there you go. That's Moy Bogarin's work. Obviously, he's trying out, or he's working as a wedding photographer in some capacity and doing some other commercial work. Look, understand that I am not trying to cut your work down. I think that your work is really cool, and that's why I jumped in here, and I think it's got a lot of potential. I think that in your case, you got to slow things down, take more time, interact more with your couples, look at your framing, look at your composition, and really think about telling that story with each image instead of packing extra images in there hoping that the story will tell itself, because that's not usually how it works. So there you go. If any of you guys want to submit your website for a Squarespace portfolio website review, you can send it to BrooklynPhotoWorks@gmail.com. That's it for now. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below, and we'll see you